At the Second Continental Congress, they voted to go ahead and declare independence from Great Britain. This was a major move in a step towards independence. They had to first declare it and state why they were trying to be independent. So in June of 1776, Congress was already debating this, and Richard Henry Lee actually puts forth a resolution talking about declaring independence. So they're going to put a committee together that included Thomas Jefferson, who we all know is kind of the main writer of the Declaration, John Adams, and Ben Franklin, to put together a declaration. And the whole purpose of it was to give a list of reasons of why we were declaring our independence. Now, after Thomas Jefferson and his committee go through and write this document, it's going to be edited by Congress, which Thomas Jefferson wasn't really happy about, and it's finally going to be issued on what is now our Independence Day, July 4th, 1776. So we see some various concepts in the Declaration that really are very clear from the Enlightenment thinkers during this time period. We see the ideas of natural rights and the social contract from John Locke, and it's almost like you can tell Thomas Jefferson just kind of directly copied some of these Enlightenment thinkers. And again, so he's going to put some of those ideas in there and then kind of give those reasons why we were separating. He is going to list these against King George III as well as British Parliament. So this is kind of who this whole declaration is written to. It doesn't talk at all about what kind of government we're going to move towards. This only talks about the reasons we are angry at King George III and Parliament. So here is this part of the Declaration that we all know very well. This first section right here, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That right there are your natural rights. That comes straight from John Locke. Now this second part, talking about securing these rights, that governments are instituted and they derive their powers from the consent of the governed. Okay, guys, right there, that whole little section there, and that any time that the government becomes destructive, that it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. That's John Locke's social contract. So you see those ideas clearly reflected in here. So basically, this is saying that a government that doesn't protect its people's rights is going to lose its right to rule. You've got three groups in the colonies at this point in time. You have those that we call loyalists or Tories. These are people who remained loyal to Great Britain and the king. Then you had patriots. These are people who wanted to be independent. And what is really important here is that anybody who declared themselves a patriot and who was very outspoken about it was putting themselves at great risk. Because if they lost this war, then they would be hung as traitors. They were literally putting their lives on the line, their families' lives on the line. So this was a major risk. As many as a third of the colonists, however, were undecided. To be really honest, many of these colonists did not have really a dog in the fight, so to speak. They were mostly just concerned with making it in their day-to-day lives, so they weren't nearly as concerned about which side they wanted to be on in this whole conflict. So you've got those three groups, and up to a third of all colonists who really weren't sure where they fell in the mix.